transition here. We got an interesting piece coming up with the 7th grade percussionist on your program. This is going to come out as rhythm rock, and as you can see, I've been messing with the electronics a little bit. So this is a piece that actually has some electronic backing track, and it's, as you can see, some bucket drumming with some fun visual work in there. So they're just going to play it down, have a good time. On a side note, just as a heads up, this Friday there is the percussion ensemble concert featuring grade 7 through high school in the large band room at 6 o'clock p.m. if you are interested for that. So just throwing that out there. And with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just let this go.
percussion ensemble. This is Clave and Sons.
Poplar Bluff Junior High in high school. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. This is the 7th grade concert band. As you can tell, it is, let's give a round of applause for the 7th grade concert band. Alright, so, as you can tell, it is a really massive group. Just like last year, we were really blessed to have a really large program at the junior high. Our mentality is the more the merrier. As many kids in the band, the better. And they are awesome kids. We just went to Six Flags, actually, not too long ago. And there were actually even fewer students than this, and the stage at Six Flags could not handle us at all. There's like maybe a foot of walking space. I think I almost fell off the stage. And the directors at St. Charles was like, whoa, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So they did a great job. So tonight, our first piece that we're going to be performing is called Sakura. It's kind of a Japanese sounding piece, and it'll actually feature a little bit of tempo block. Where's the tempo block? Austin Dolson back there, and a little bit of gong. Where's our gong player? There we go. All good. That's nice. Thank you. Good job. All right. So our first piece is Sakura. I'm sorry, one thing I forgot to say. We're going to do a little warm-up first. A little warm-up first. I see everybody's brain has left their skull at the end of the school year, so teachers and students alike. Okay, right? Mr. Sal, right? Well, called Dark Adventure. We'll talk about that in a second. First, I do want to recognize that 7th grade year is really, really fun for a couple of reasons. Band is kind of a new experience for a lot of the students, and maybe for a lot of the parents. This is kind of a new thing for you guys. It's kind of fun, it's kind of new. The cool thing is that when they started playing their instruments, do any of you guys remember them sounding like dying animals? Right? Yes, yeah, that was me when I was in 7th grade. I sounded like that. My mom said a dying moose. In fact, I think she said I sounded like that up until a junior in high school. I still sound like a dying moose and played the bear as an instrument. But now they're using these instruments to make music and to make expressive lines. Play recognizable tunes, kind of maybe take you to the land of Japan using their instruments. And, we're very proud of them and how much progress they've made this year. There are lots of leaps and bounds in the 7th grade year. We want to thank you guys, especially for being here to support your students in the band. They couldn't be here without you all supporting them, encouraging them to practice, letting them take band class. To start with. So we really appreciate you all. We're very proud of your students and how well they've done this year. So, like I said, they've done a great job. When we went to Six Flags, they represented themselves, the people of Poplar Bluff, really, really well. They were very respectful. In fact, we got a lot of compliments from people at the festival about them and how well they did. We only had one snafu. Somebody broke onto a bus and stole our limbo stick. I mean, really, how low could he go? See, they're not laughing because they know my jokes. So our last piece here is called Dark Adventure. It's got a little bit of a darker sound to it, of course, hence the name. And the students had a lot of fun with it, especially, say, like 97 to the end. So there's a little part in there. I made the saxophones play quiet for the whole song, and I told them they play as loud as they wanted in the section. We talked about class, kind of reminiscent of they didn't clean the room, so steps of doom with the parent coming to the room and about to walk into a messy room. So we had a lot of fun with this piece. So thank you guys again so much for being here. After this, we're going to talk about how we're going to get them off the gear and the 8th grade song. So here we go, Dark Adventures.
thanks for getting set up. I'm just going to announce all the pieces and we're going to play them without talking in between. First thing I want to say though is we have a lot of really good 8th grade students and we're super excited to bring them over to high school next year. A lot of them have signed up. Matter of fact, we have about 85% of them that signed up for high school next year, which is awesome. And we have a thing next week, which is a little different. It's called Spring Band Camp. That starts on Tuesday. We're going to have basically a little time after school to work with them for a couple days. We have a high school band concert Monday. If anybody wants to come to that at 7 o'clock, if you have a child that's in that. So we're going to get started with Darklands March. We're in Randall Stammers. He lives actually down in Jonesboro, Arkansas, just down south of us. And then we're going to Salvation's Created, which is by Chetikov. He never actually heard the song performed in his lifetime, but his children were able to publish it. And then we'll end with a really fun piece that they've had a lot of fun with, Arabian Dances. So this is the 8th grade concert band.